Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Too Much Tech. And in today's video, we're going to be reviewing the Akko MOD007. I don't know if this keyboard is supposed to be for James Bond or what, but I am really digging this rose gold color. That doesn't have anything to do with James Bond. I don't know why they decided to name it the 007. I mean, maybe like Mod 75. I don't know, because it's a 75% keyboard. But I digress. The name, I guess, doesn't really matter. For $150 to $180, depending on which website you look, because on Akko's website and Lethal Gaming Gear's website, the MOD007 is $150. But from the Apple Maker website, the MOD007 is $180. So that doesn't make much sense. I don't know why it's that way. If Akko and Apple Maker are like working together, maybe it's intended for different markets. I'm not sure, but I will definitely check the pricing of each site before you go ahead and hit purchase. But otherwise, the MOD007 comes in a few different colors, comes in a rose gold, a black, a blue, as well as a space gray color. It is a 75% layout that features USB Type-C on the left side, north-facing switches, as well as a knob on the top right. Now, this plate and PCB arrangement is a little bit unique. The PCB does support both plate-mounted and screw-in stabilizers, so that is pretty unique. Basically, I guess that just allowed Akko to get the cost down a little bit, and if you're not very familiar with PCB mount stabilizers, you can just use the included plate mount stabilizers that are actually not bad. They were well greased, but not very well lubed, so you can definitely wipe off the grease that they have on there, which was kind of a lot. It was a lot of grease on there, but you can definitely wipe those off and apply your own lubricant, or you can purchase some Duroc stabilizers that are now available in clip-in support from Prevail Key Company. I'll have that link in the description below, but use code TooMuchTech to support the channel as well as save a bit at checkout. But getting back to the MOD007, you do have plate foam in between the plate and PCB. The plate materials included are aluminum, which is pre-installed and ready to go, but they also do give you an FR4 plate, which is my preferred plate. As far as this thing being a gasket mount, don't get me wrong, like, it's definitely a gasket mount in the way that you put the plate on and whatnot, but it does not have much flex in terms of your actual typing experience. It's very similar to the glorious GMMK Pro as far as the lack of flex during a typing experience, but in my opinion, I don't really think that the flex is very important. But overall, using this keyboard is pretty good. I don't really have any major complaints for $150 if you're looking for a 75% keyboard in a pretty unique color like this rose gold and the blue. I'm huge fans of both of those colors. With the USB Type-C being on the left side, it is actually a pretty good deal. And as far as the keycaps that I use, these are the Akko Midnight keycaps, and these work fine with the north-facing switches. The one piece of feedback that I would give this keyboard that I want to see in a revision is that I would like to see south-facing switches instead of north-facing switches. But the other thing that I do have to critique is that the Akko Cloud driver would not work on either of my two PCs, so I'm not sure why. I installed it on both. I installed it afterwards because it just would not work. Even with the included coil cable, the cloud driver, for whatever reason, just wouldn't work. Otherwise, the MOD007, it's a pretty cool keyboard, especially for the price. But I've got a couple of sound tests for you guys. It's going to include the Peach switches that Akko sent over. Those are from Ajaz, and they are pre-lubed. I'm not completely sure what the composition of those switches are, but the Peach switches are pretty nice, and they are fairly affordable as well. But I do have another sound test for you guys with a different switch and the FR4 plate. This is going to be a sound test of the Melon switches from the Key Company. These are a part of their Marble Soda series by SP Star, and basically the Melon switches are a nylon housing with a palm stem in white, and they are a 72-gram linear, extremely smooth, and there is a little bit of light factory lube. But they do also feature the OG switch, which is light blue in color as opposed to the green, and it's also a translucent polycarbonate as opposed to the green nylon opaque housing of the Melon series switch. But the OG will have a much lighter spring at 55 grams and also feature the same white palm stem. But in my opinion, the Melon switch is the one that sounds the best between these two. So that would be my preference if I was to go ahead and get these switches. The OGs are just a little bit too high pitched and too clacky for me, where the Melon is a little bit deeper. And if you hit these with some Crytox, they're going to be sounding great. But I will give you guys some quick sound tests of both the Melon switches as well as those Peach switches from Ajaz. But we are now affiliated with the Key Company, so I will have an affiliate link in the description below if you guys want to help support the channel. But Hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the stream highlights as I put together a couple different builds of the MOD007. I really do like these Melon switches though. I'm gonna have to lube these up and see how they sound. I think the nylon with the palm and some 205 grade 0 will make these switches quite a bit deeper, but definitely check them out. Link in the description below. And I will also have a sound test of the OG switches as well as the Melon switches in another video coming up later this week. Stock stabs. We're gonna swap these out for some Duroc clip-ins because I have them. So let's check them out. Not horrible, but you know. Like when you push on it really, really hard, it does move quite a bit, but that's only when you push hard on the plate. And like this is not, like while you're typing, you feel it moving. Like this is a pretty kind of similar experience to like a GMMK Pro. This has over the GMMK Pro at, very similar price, even though it's $10 more. I'm gonna have to keep this around because this bad boy is rose gold. All right, but here we go. We have the Akko MOD007 with the SP Star Melon nylon housing switches, pre-lubed, and also these Akko Miami Nights ASA keycaps. I can't remember what they call them, but it was like some other name that wasn't Miami Nights, but it's very similar. Anyways. Thoughts on the MOD007? I definitely think that this keyboard is worth it at the right price. If you can get this keyboard at $150, I feel like it's a really good deal. And it's almost a better deal than, okay, I take that back. It is a better deal than GMK Pro because you can use clip-in or screw-in stabilizers. But it does have north-facing switches instead of south-facing switches, so keep that in mind. Depending on like what switches you're using, and cherry style keycaps. But if you're using these ASA keycaps, it's like a non-issue because these are like taller SA style caps. I do love the aesthetic of them too. Like this midnight theme is definitely like some of my favorite colors. But if you can get around 150, 160 bucks with everything included, I think that this is a pretty fair price for this keyboard. The biggest reason why I would say go with the GMK Pro, if you're fine with like getting silver or black or spending like way more money for a different aesthetic, would be the software. Because the software on this, I haven't got it to work on my PC. So, whatever the binds are, you're kind of stuck with them. And it is pretty easy to like change like the RGB effects and whatnot because this keyboard does have RGB. But I was just really not thrilled with the fact that it's very hard to customize things when the software doesn't work. But otherwise, I think it's pretty good. I love the aesthetic of it. It's just very simple and clean aesthetic. And yeah, the MOD007, if you get it for the right price, in my opinion. Now, as far as the SP Star switches from the key company, I prefer the Melons to the OG as far as like both the marble soda switches. Like the Melons have a little bit deeper sound. The nylon on palm is incredibly smooth. So I really like those switches. I don't even think they sound like exactly the same as like a Duroc recolor. So, I'm cool with that. But otherwise, I would go with the Melon switches as far as the marble soda switches go from the key company. Use code TechKyle, save a little bit, support the channel, you know, all that good stuff. And get the green ones, not the blue ones. It's probably the only time in the world I'll ever say don't get the blue thing. But unless you want to clack overload, get the green ones. And are the OGs as good as the Franken switches that I made? The ice cream switches? I'm gonna just go ahead and say no. Ice cream switches sound better. So if you want like that, you either get the ice cream switches and get them with the ice candies, or Aqua Kings and you mix them with an NK cream or any other kale switches, or what is it called? I have them in another keyboard. What are they called? Or you get the porcelain blue switches. Those are like the better version of the ice cream switches without having to spend like a ton of money. Because I love the way they sound and the way they look. And the OG marble soda is not exactly that, because the ice cream switches are a little bit deeper in pitch. These boys are mega clacky. What price point would I look at to recommend start building customs? I would say like 150 to 200 bucks. Because you can get, you know, like a GMMK, which I don't recommend anymore because the Pulsar PCMK is a thing now. And it's, in my opinion, it's like a vastly improved GMMK because they give you foam in between the plate and PCB. You don't need foam at the bottom because it's plastic and it's like fairly deep sounding. If you put a good switch in there, it supports 5-pin. And the stabilizers that they give you are pre-clipped and lubed, and they're pretty good. And you can get the 60% TKL, whatever. I want to say it's like 70 bucks, maybe 80 bucks for the bare bones. And then let's say like another 40 or 50 bucks for some quality switches. And then, I mean, you can get the Pulsar keycaps if you want, but you can get, you know, another set of keycaps like Kinetic Labs polycaps for 60 bucks. And so like right at 200 bucks, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, you get a nice little starter custom keyboard.